we consider our most important job getting our students out there, either as interns or graduates, and getting them to hit the ground running and create a great economy here in Utah, defend our country. They do amazing things, and I am so pleased to be a part of that group. So, let me just say, we've got 7 speakers. Wait. 7 speakers who are more eloquent than me, so I'm going to get out of the way as quickly as possible. But I do have a few thank yous I want to give you. First, Tim Israelson from Utah, and also the state of Utah in general, who are represented today. Thank you very much for everything you've done. Brad, for getting us over the top, for getting this building put in. Thank you for that work. You're great to work with, by the way, so thank you. R&O, Bryce, Trent, and Dallas, I think you're all here. Great to work with you guys. Fantastic. Thank you. Usually I say, please hold your applause until the end of the... you can do whatever you want. By the way, Dallas, you know, a lot of people overpromise, underdeliver. Opposite back there. Excellent. Norm Tarbox, all the crew in FM, Mark and Jake and Travis. You know, thanks for everything you've done for us. The GSBS folks who are here, our architects, really, they made a beautiful building, don't you think? I mean, this is just gorgeous. Where's the camera? My folks, who a lot of them are not here, obviously, we've got 110 people in the college. You make me proud to be a part of your group, your college. Thank you for everything you've done. You are creative, collaborative, and a great bunch of folks to work with. And finally, I got three gifts. If anybody is talking to Spencer Hilton, or if he's watching, he was doing a great job getting us to where we need to go. He was the department chair of computer science. And then Kyle took over, Kyle Fates. And so, Kyle, I've got this little gift for you. You can use this for one thing. You helped out with this building, and then you also have another building you still have to help with. So this figuratively will help you. You could use it literally too, but the construction guys will probably laugh at you. So, Kyle, Big Dig Fates, I'll give it to you when we get out of here. This is for Scott Hadzik. Scott, he basically helped make this happen. He was here every day. He was a fantastic. I mean, were you guys going to hire him at the end? Because I'm. I feel like me and Scott are brothers. All right. Seriously, above and beyond. Plus, on the team to put this thing together, he was always creative and poignant and just funny. Really, he made coming to these meetings a real pleasure. I think no one will argue with me on that. I called the construction management chair and said, can I get you one of these hats? He told me, you already have 4. So I can't go back, though. I already wrote on it. So Scott Hadzik, and as he told us on only one occasion, kind of a big deal. So Scott, here you go. And finally, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Kelly Stackeruk. Kelly, I'm not allowed to give you the gift here on campus, so you are now allowed to open that mysterious package that came to your house. Okay, we've got 7 people here that are going to come up and speak. I'm just going to announce them now, and then allow them to go in the order that they're going to speak in. They were supposed. Let's see. Rachel, Colton, Lori, hi, General von Hoffman, Representative Brad Wilson, Senator Stuart Adams, and President Mortensen. That's the order we're going to go in. I know this is going to work because I'm going to leave these names up here. So if you could just say, just remind, the next person you're coming up. Maybe wipe the microphone too. Okay, first Rachel Loeb, who's the CS and WSU ambassador. She just graduated. I didn't get to shake her hand during graduation this year. And I didn't see her, I have to admit. I did watch the whole 7 hours of graduation. And I had to go to the bathroom. So next time, I know, catheter or something. I don't know. Anyway, you've done such amazing things for our school and for the university. Thank you. And thanks for being here today, Rachel. You'll see Rachel in there without a face mask on one of the posters, actually. Colton, Senior, Automotive Club President, Project Manager of the SAE Mini Baja. Thank you for coming and speaking with us today as well, after Rachel. Lori, it's been great working with you over the years. Director, GSSC Program, Space Systems at Northrop Grumman. General von Hoffman, who is, you have like 9,000 people that work and they're doing maintenance, repair, overhaul for all the planes that you hear and see flying over us, as well as the one you don't, which is the Minuteman III. That's not a plane, granted, but still, hopefully you don't see that. And a graduate of Vanderbilt, which I didn't know. Also, a great golfer. She pretty much carried the foursome last year, so thank you for that, too. Representative Brad Wilson, who's Speaker of the House. I didn't know this, Brad. I didn't know you were in the top 40 of people under 40 at one point. Was it? Well, you can't tell. Anyway, I thought that was good. And a graduate of Weber State. Senator Stuart Adams, Senate President. U grad, but if it wasn't for Senator Adams, we wouldn't have engineering at this university. There'd be a red sign over that sign of the university, wherever it is, that says, no, you can't use the word engineering. So, thank you, Stuart. And then finally, President Mortensen will lead us in the cutting of the ribbon. Okay, so with that, Rachel, come on up.
Hello, my name is Rachel Loeb. And I graduated this past spring with a bachelor's degree in computer science. And I love Weber State. So, we all see this beautiful building, and there's more to this building than what meets the eye. There are millions of plans, thoughts, and ideas that went into this building. I was at Weber State for 4 years, and during that time, I had millions of moments where I was able to have an amazing college experience that really shaped my life. From Professor Brinkerhoff teaching me C++, to Professor Weedman, who I had 4 classes with, to being able to see Pat DeYoung every semester to plan out my classes, to having countless conversations with Patrick Beck in the hallway and the lab, to being able to see cute Anna smile every single event, and to being able to learn in a very enriched environment throughout all my classes. This is a celebration about you and all of the details that you've poured into others' lives. It's a celebration about the future and the moments that we have and that Weber State has going forward, from the opportunities to the learning moments to the hearts and minds that are going to be touched. So from me to you, thank you so much for letting me be one of these students. And God bless you as you continue to touch more lives.
get it to stay, I promise. So, as he mentioned, my name is Colton Carter. I am the Automotive Club president, and I'm now in charge of the SAE Mini Baja project that we have had. I've been involved with this project for a few years now, and it's amazing how much of a difference the change in facilities has made for our ability to work on this. In our last building, it was an awesome building. We had every tool we needed, but then when I finally got over here and was helping move everything in, we had upgraded everything. And because of the upgrades that we have made, and thanks to all of you guys for allowing us to have this new building, we're going to now have a leg up in the competition. There are a few people I would like to thank especially. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Let me re-say that. There are a few people that I would like to thank especially. The staff and faculty of the automotive program, I'm sure the computer science and everyone at Weber State is the same, but they have gone above and beyond for every single one of their students. If it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't be standing here today. The professors and everyone involved just put in countless extra hours on top of what they are expected to do. And because of that, many, many, many students are able to succeed. As much as I can express my gratitude, I would like to all of you. I'd like to thank the state legislature. I'd like to thank Weber State, the architects that helped design this building, and the builders that put it together. I'd also like to thank our dealer groups and everyone who's involved with scholarships for the students as well. I am grateful very much to all of you, and I look forward to being able to use this facility to the full extent that I possibly can so that I can have a leg up against everyone else who I'm competing against when it comes to me getting a job. Thank you very much. Lori is next.
So I take it we're supposed to keep our masks on, huh? We get to decide, or I'll try to do this and you can hear me. Okay, thank you. It's really important that I breathe when I speak. So one of the most important things I have learned over the last several months that's been reinforced to me throughout 2020, which has been special, as we all know, is the power of a dedicated team. And today, standing here, I'm thinking about the team behind this. What an incredible accomplishment to get to this point. And so my congratulations to everyone. It's amazing when you have a group of individuals that have a common, shared, noble vision, like education. Community supporters that want to get behind that, philanthropic organizations that back that, state legislators that want to see the vision happen. It's just, there's nothing that a group like that can't do, and this is proof of that. As I was said, I work for Northrop Grumman, and so we are, many of the aerospace kinds of companies across the state are swamped and busy, and all that we need to be able to be successful is more people with the talent and educational background. And this is really exciting to me because of that. I mean, that's really the only thing that stands in the way of continued Utah economic success, is having that workforce that can bring to bear the talent that we need to be able to accomplish our goals. And I'm looking at it, the general here, and I know that that's the case for Hill Air Force Base. We're very partnered with you and many other industry folks that have that need. So we appreciate you opening up more space to allow more people to gain these great skills. It's much needed. I'm an alumnus too, and so I bleed purple. My dad was a professor at Weber State, and so it goes way, way back for me, and I love this university. And it changed my life, and that's the thing that I think even more than all the economic benefits is it changes lives. education. I'm a person that when I started out at Weber State, I was very tentative about stepping into the university pool there, and had gone through some difficult things and was not very sure of myself, and truly transformed by the professors I worked with and the education that I got that really elevated my life to a different level that would not have been possible without the university. So again, I love this university, and I try to give back as much as I can. Just in ending, we have a tagline at Northrop Grumman that's called Defining Possible. And to me, this is a great example of that, of having the vision and having the wherewithal to work as a community and as a university and as business partners and philanthropic organizations to bring this to pass with the help of the state legislature. It's an amazing accomplishment. And so thank you for defining possible, and to all of the future generations of learners that will be benefited because of it. It's great. Thank you. Congratulations.
So, President Mortensen and Dean Farrell, thank you so much. It's absolutely a pleasure to be joining everyone today to celebrate yet another milestone for Weber State in its extraordinary journey to be an educational and cultural and economic leader for our region. Hill Air Force Base, and specifically the Ogden Air Logistics Complex, or the Ogden Depot as most of you know it, are the beneficiary of Weber State's innovation, and especially from its College of Engineering, Applied Science, and Technology. And so now we get to the good part. We get to talk about my favorite thing, and that's our depot in Hill Air Force Base, and why this new facility is so important to us. So the Air Force entrusts depot-level maintenance and modernizations for fighters, the ICBMs, and many aircraft components such as landing gear, flight controls, guidance sets to our depot. We're charged with keeping some legacy, and legacy, for those of you, that's a euphemism for old. Weapon systems like the A-10, structurally sound and with modern avionics, while also modifying new weapon systems like the F-35 as new capabilities become available. Our ICBM system is celebrating its 50th year on alert status. That's a system that was intended to last 10. So it's still on alert, much due to the work that's accomplished at Hill and a lot of the graduates that wear purple. We cannot do this without an incredibly skilled and dedicated workforce. This workforce encompasses just under, as we mentioned, 9,100 people, but only a few of them wear this uniform. Most of them are civilian, or what we call civilian airmen. They're technicians who maintain fighter aircraft. They are electricians who overhaul components. They are engineers who design new industrial processes. But let me tell you about a group that you might be less familiar with. Our 309th Software Engineering Group is approaching 2,000 people now, almost all of them software engineers. They work across the United States in places like California, Colorado, Oklahoma, and Massachusetts, as well as the 1,200 or so that are here. This software engineering group writes code for many weapon systems: the F-35, the F-22, the F-16, the A-10, our current pilot trainer, the T-38, and our future one, the T-7. We write code for Minuteman III ICBM system, and are already working with its successor, the ground-based strategic deterrent. It really is a riveting time to be in the software engineering group. There's an effort within the Air Force to be on the cutting edge of innovation and to challenge the agility of how we do software development. We want to go fast. So imagine, if you will, for just a second, you're an F-16 fighter pilot. You've taken off with an operating flight program that was coded for yesterday's threat. However, the capability that artificial intelligence, AI, brings us recognized that that threat is changing, and we require better code. Our goal is that we can push that code to the pilot in flight so that she is literally landing with better software than she took off with. You may think this is a stretch goal, but our ski camp team, who sits at the Ogden Weber Startup Building in downtown Ogden, encompasses software developers who are pushing the boundaries of innovation. They are doing what I just talked about on a smaller scale with our T38 pilot trainer today. With such groundbreaking efforts within software development, we've increased the need for cybersecurity and boundary defense systems. We need cybersecurity systems to protect, to proactively detect and mitigate vulnerabilities and attacks as we venture into this new realm of innovation. Cyber attacks are not just the basement hacker. They are real and present threat from our nation's adversaries to this base and today. We must have cybersecurity experts to operate our systems. Thus, we turn to our partner, Weber State University. On behalf of Team Hill, I want to extend a deep appreciation to the Utah State Legislature, the NORDA Foundation, the Stewart Education Foundation, for not just meeting the workforce needs of Northern Utah, but for being an integral part of our team's ability to meet the mission. The innovative men and women who graduate out of this state-of-the-art learning environment and join our team don't just come through those gates for a job. They quite literally will be contributing to our nation's security, truly civilian airmen. Thanks.
Thank you, General. You can express to Team Hill how grateful we are to have you here and how grateful we are for all the work that's done up there from the legislature's perspective. President Mortensen, thank you for the invite today. Dean Farrow, where's the Dean? You're not a typical Dean. I've never heard at a groundbreaking, or excuse me, at a ribbon cutting, the words catheter, Grateful Dead, television, and there was something else you said that caught my attention. And I do think the General just used the word legacy. You might be showing that you're a legacy as well. So, but thank you, and congratulations to you, Dean, for another beautiful building and the great work that you do. The strength of the state of Utah is pretty evident right now as the world is dealing with something that's pretty unprecedented. And our state is doing well. We're continuing to build and finish buildings. Our students are back at school. And while we've got some challenges that we're working through, I'm pretty grateful, very grateful to be here in the state of Utah. And I also think that with this strength that we have as a state, there's tremendous opportunity. As the rest of the nation looks around at whose economies are doing the best, whose students are doing the best, it's pretty obvious from the calls that the President and I get from other presiding officers in legislatures and other conversations we have that they're looking to Utah. And one of the real blessings of continuing to do things like this is our ability to take advantage of our relative strength as a state as we come out of a pretty unprecedented time and the COVID pandemic that will end hopefully sooner than later. But I am really excited about the opportunity that we have here up at Weber State, my alma mater, to expand our mission as a university deeper to help Team Hill and great organizations like Lori's at Northrop Grumman execute these great opportunities that we have as a state. There are thousands of jobs, we've heard about some of them today, that we already have that we'll be adding to over the course of the next few years, and including supporting Northrop's big project that we're really happy about. This computer and automotive engineering building that you get to work in, Colton, is the first of 3 facilities that are really part of Weber State's mission to go deeper and stronger into this tech space and update the instructional environment for the students that attend Weber State University. And the legislature, as you know, appropriated money for these buildings, including the Norda building, which is under construction up in Ogden. I need to get a tour of that, Brad, at some point. And will be finished about 2 years from now, is that right? About 2 years from now. And just a little inside baseball. The president and I are both from northern Utah, and we get a little grief occasionally from being from the same neck of the woods. And the appropriations process is always kind of interesting. But we were sitting in a meeting, I think it was 2 years ago. Is that right? Yeah. So So two sessions ago almost. Feels like the 2021 session's already started for me, to be perfectly honest, President. And trying to figure out if we were going to be able to build any higher education buildings. And one thing led to another. And I actually remember where I was sitting. We were in the president's office talking about this. And I don't know if he wants me to admit this or not in front of everyone, but we decided we're going to find the money for the Weber State buildings. And the president said, no, we're not. We're going to find that money plus $5 million extra. And he's the one, I don't know if you wanted me to tell him that story, President, but he's the one that actually should get the credit for giving Weber State a little extra money, more than asked for. And in my 10 years in the legislature, I've never seen that happen before. But that reflects our commitment to Weber State's mission to do this kind of work. And to you, President Mortensen, and the confidence that we have in you and your institution. So I'm excited about the future for this program and this building, and I'm even more excited to turn the mic over to President Adams. So.
Great to be here. Great to be here with the speaker and Dean Farrow. I would tell you that not only are former deans proud of what you've done, but we're all proud of what you've done. And you mentioned I graduated from University of Utah, but you didn't talk about my kids that had gone to Weber State. And so I want you to know there is repentance, and hopefully there's the principle. You'll understand the principle of forgiveness. But anyway, what a thrill it is to be here. Both the speaker and I get involved in the construction business, and there's probably nothing funner than to see a structure come up, to be able to solve the problems. R&O, I'm sure there's been problems, and as you go home every day, you get to see something happen, and it's really a very fun profession. And you look at the structure behind us and how beautiful it is, and I think we're going to do a ribbon cutting and celebrate the great work that's been done. But really more important than the building is what's in the building, what's going to happen in the building. And to maybe give you a little example, it was mentioned, the dean mentioned it a few years ago, there was not only discussion about a building, there was a discussion about engineering at Weber State. And at the time, I was involved in Weber State with a student group and had a 4 to 5 year commitment there and got to know a young man. And I'd known him for, I think, almost a year. And he worked in Ogden, all his friends were in Ogden, he recreated in Ogden, he went to every activity with us in Ogden. And then I learned that he was a student at Utah State. He got up at 7 in the morning, or beyond 7, to a class at 7 in the morning, early in the morning. And he'd drive every day to Utah State to their engineering program. It did not make sense, especially when you know just over that hill is Hill Air Force Base, and Hill will hire more engineers than we'll produce in all of our institutions in the state of Utah. And we went to work. And I won't get into the details, I'll leave all those out. But I do track the program. And I ask Brad quite often how it's doing, and it takes a while to get to be a graduate. And so far, 171 graduates. Pretty cool. 153 of them are still in Utah, all but 18 really. We were told that the school wouldn't be accredited, that they wouldn't get jobs, that no one would hire them. And these people, not very, I'll list some of the companies. You can decide their credibility. The biggest is Hill Air Force Base, Northrop Grumman, L3, BAE, and others. Now, when you look at those numbers, you may hear a 171 or 153, but behind every one of those numbers is one of those students that would have been getting up at 5 in the morning or leaving his family and going somewhere else to school, that wouldn't be able to, and some of them may not have even chosen to be engineers. And you think of the impact that's had on themselves, their self-esteem, but also their families, and I would say not only their kids, but their parents who are so proud of them. So it's really exciting to be here. And Dean, you tried to give me credit, but I'll look in the camera for this. But it wouldn't have happened without Dean Farrow. He was tenacious through the whole process. Leadership of Brad Mortensen, bet your great staff, because not only would the program would not have happened, but these 171 graduates wouldn't have happened. So I want you to not hold your applause, but please applaud for a great dean, one of the greatest engineering programs in the entire nation, right here at Weber State. Very proud to be here, be proud of the ribbon cutting for this great building. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for those of you who are here in person, for those of you who are watching online. Appreciate you accommodating this. I know you all wanted to be here, and we're trying to keep socially distanced and be responsible at this time, but many of you are just the heart and soul of Weber State, and we appreciate all of your support and what you do as faculty and staff and our alumni and friends. So thank you for accommodating this, and thanks to all of you for being safe here as well. I didn't know that I just thought I was going to come up here and say, let's cut the ribbon, but I have to tell a couple stories because they've been teased a little bit. First, and it's been said now, but Dean Farrow didn't thank himself, and we wouldn't expect that when he went through his lists of all the ones who are being thanked. But thank you so much, Dave, for your leadership throughout this process. We really appreciate R&O Construction. Great job. GSBS really knocked it out of the park for us, and all of your teams. We are grateful for that. I have to tell a fidget spinner story here quick. There was a debate about, we knew we needed new engineering facilities, computer science facilities, automotive facilities at Weber State, and we didn't know whether to put it here, where it would be just right next to Hill Air Force Base, where there's so much demand, or to keep it on the Ogden campus, and we debated that for quite a while. Dean Farrow had permutations of an Excel spreadsheet, I remember, that trying to calculate all the costs and benefits, and at some point we were in a meeting, and I don't remember for sure, but I think it may have been Norm's idea that we just needed to split the baby and try to do something on both campuses, and that was part of a great decision, I think, where we can really expand and meet needs here for our Davis County community, and also build a strong engineering program on the Ogden campus. And so to Norm and the leadership that happens in facilities management, Mark Halverson and all his team, we really are very grateful for that. And some of us will always call this the first prong of this fidget spinner, this building behind me, and I think that story needs to be told. I thought Speaker Wilson was alluding to the day in the 2019 session when he and President Adams called me into their office, into the president's office in the Senate. And I was sitting outside, and Senator Buxton, who some of you know, saw me sitting there, and he just said, "You ain't getting your building." And so I pretty much knew how the rest of the conversation was going to go, and it was about probably day 35, I think, and the speaker alluded to the fact that there was some serious discussions about whether things were going to get funded. And they called me in, and they just said, "Brad, we're going to have to wait. Things just aren't aligned. We hope you understand." And then as the rest of the story goes, thanks to the speaker and President Adams, we have a lot of other great Northern Utah legislators who are champions for Weber State, not the least of which Senator Ann Milner, the Senate Majority Assistant Whip, Representative Mike Schultz, Senator Jerry Stevenson, just a great, all members of leadership from Northern Utah. And I think I saw Representative Barlow walk in here someday soon. We hope this roadway will be completed and connected to Highway 193, Haven J. Barlow Drive, or I don't know, remember the last name, in honor of Representative Barlow's father, who's really the godfather of this campus, which is a story for another day, but so grateful for all of them. But getting back to what's been said before, we really have tremendous tremendous faculty and staff that make this all go at Weber State. And I received an email. Well, before I do that, I have to say, I've learned a lot about our automotive technology program through this process and being in some meetings with Scott and others. And we've talked a lot about software and cybersecurity and some of those needs today. But what our automotive technology program is doing is also leading edge. And when we have representatives from Tesla calling us up to set meetings so that they can be part of our program, we know that we're doing something pretty special. So congratulations, Scott, for all the great work, and hopefully folks will have a chance to see, if not today, another time, some of the pretty groundbreaking things that they're doing. But I received an email just a couple weeks ago from one of the faculty that's already been mentioned, Professor Drew Weidman, and Drew, if you're listening. But he sent me an email, forwarded to me an email from a student that he had, a past student, and just said, Brad, I didn't ever realize, I thought I was just kind of doing my job, teaching programming and going along. And then this student writes me an email how I changed his life. And I didn't think I was doing any big thing, but the student went on to say how his dad was in software programming and was struggling with a really tough problem at work, and they didn't know how they were going to fix it, and it was going to take thousands and thousands of man hours to do all this programming. And because of the software coding that the student had learned from Drew, he was able to suggest something that kind of automatically went through all these lines of code and found the problems and fixed it for him. And then the student went on to get an internship and a job, and just from a faculty member doing no big thing, I think is what Drew called it in the email, and trying to go about his work every day. So we have great facilities like this. It allows us to expand and do more, serve more students, be leading edge with the equipment and technology. But at the end of the day, it's the heart and soul of our faculty and staff who make the difference. And we're so pleased to be able to have this type of facility. So thanks to the funding from the legislature, the NORDA Foundation, who provided a lead gift before we got the legislative funding, and the new building on the Ogden campus will be named in honor of their support. Stewart Education Foundation, whose name has just been unveiled on this building to the west of us here, will be known as the Stewart Center in honor of the very generous support that the Stewart Education Foundation gives to Weber State University. So we appreciate them. And at this time, I think we're ready to cut the ribbon on the Computer and Automotive Engineering building at WSU Davis. So if all of our speakers would join me, and Dean Farrow and Julie Snowball, who's our Assistant Vice President, Regional Partnerships and over the Davis campus, then I think we're ready to cut the ribbon for this facility. How did you stage this, Becky? Do you want to coach us?
Please coach us, Becky.
Handy snacks. Anything else you want me to announce? So thank you all for coming. We have, we'll do it in small groups, but we want to be able to allow folks to tour the facility. We have a few packaged refreshments for folks to partake of as well. So thank you, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day and weekend.